Goosebumps. They're so good, it's scary.
I'm gonna try to record it with this set, but anyways, I'm here to do a thorough book review. It's been a long time. The other two got canceled. Well, yeah, technically, three of them got canceled. One is still maybe there's some glimmer of hope, but I'm not sure. But anyways, we're just gonna have to just use this one. So, anyways, I'm doing a thorough book review on I Am Slappy's Evil Twin. So it's kind of interesting. First time looking at a Slappy book, Slappy World book, and well, it's interesting just how it goes. It because I thought at first it would be just like popping to a movie novel and it'd be like, oh yeah, we're gonna give him a dark cover and all that stuff. It's like, no, they didn't even give a dark page on that. They were just like, here's a slappy moment. But anyways, the intro was pretty funny. Yeah, the intro was pretty funny, and then we get the prologue, which was in 1920. So this is pretty interesting because we finally get the result of who created Slappy, who created Snappy, who created Mr. Wood, and even crazy enough, it could actually be who actually made Mary Ellen. Yes, Mary Ellen could actually have been involved too, supposedly. Well, not really. I think he just made ventriloquist dummies, but since the idiots in the book, it's like, no offense to Earl Stein, but they called them dolls, and I was like, and there's a doll with a white scarf on, and I'm like, so he makes dolls too. So ventriloquist dummies and dolls too. So that means that Mary Ellen also was created in his workshop, which makes perfect sense. But sadly, that is only hearsay because got a little bit confused. So we're gonna say maybe he created Mary Ellen, maybe. But anyways, we got Franz Hamar. And Franz Hamar is an old man at this point. Apparently, he used to be a star in London, and he actually made Life Like Dummies that was completely crazy. And he created Mr. Wood. Chances are he also might have created Wally Wood as well. Wally. He might have created the brainy body for Wally as well. But that's not true. Yeah, that one can't actually be true because, well, I'm just gonna read this. So, anyways, we got the sorcerer slash magician Candu, which Candu is really the real main point of this because Candu is the one that actually made Mr. Wood alive, while everyone else was, let's say, friends. Yeah, friends. Yeah, friends was the one who made everyone else. Every other living ventriloquist dummy and maybe a doll, that was him. So, anyways, what happened was that Candu, the magician sorcerer, had an evil side and he decided to enchant Mr. Wood, and Mr. Wood was so violent. So it turns out that Mr. Wood was actually in Britain and somehow made it to America. What? How? What did the? What the? Huh? It's like, so let me get this straight. If we're going to go with the route that all books are together and there's not different dimensions, which I'm trying to figure out if we're going to have different Goosebumps dimensions, which means the first part of the book, first part of the series from Goosebumps, give yourself Goosebumps, shut up, and Goosebumps 2000, they're one dimension of themselves. There's one universe. The other universe is Horrorland, and the third one is Slappy World. We don't really have a good connection of where horror Horrorland and Slappy World is mixed together. That's one same thing. Because if it was one same thing, then Slappy would still have his automatic stuff that was in the original Revenge of the Living Dummy. Because he has hardware inside of him, while as you can see in this book, no, he didn't have anything in him. So maybe it's three universes. But let's just say by some weird craziness that there is some pick and choosing of what's in a universe and what's not in a universe. So the first book, the real inspiration for Mr. Wood was actually looking for his creator. That is what he wants to do, is looking for his creator, supposedly. But of course, since he didn't want his creator to touch him, it's like, get your paws off me, you damn dirty ape. And it's like, oh, well, damn, he was already violent already. And it does make sense that this is really his, it's like, it's a good reason of him, because why in the world would you not be in Britain, but you're in America? That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense at all. So he was left in London, and his master went, well, his creator went to America, and somehow he followed suit. That doesn't make sense. That means that technically what should happen is that he should have stayed in freaking Britain, and Britain has to deal with Mr. Wood. Good luck with that. And we deal with Slappy. But no, as you see in the first book, they both were there. They didn't give us the exact location and stuff like that. So it's like, what if all this time that all the Slabby books was in Britain? Okay, that makes sense. Okay, I can buy that. I can buy that. Because wherever, and definitely look at the video I created, but wherever Slappy was freaking present, it had to be nearby. It had to be nearby because they bought from the same stupid store. It's either that or Jimmy O. James most likely might have took him to America, but we don't really have any real thing on that one. So, anyways, so Mar left for America. Like I said, he has no friends. He don't want to make friends. He's just enjoying his craft. He's just making dummies, which I think at this point he made at least 4, maybe 3. Not sure. He might have bunches. He has bunches, I suppose. So he knows how to bring them to life. That's one thing that Candu actually did teach him, is that how to bring them to life. So he knows how to bring them to life. And well, of course, the reason why he's an evil sorcerer is because it comes from a dark source. And Mahar, on the other hand, friends, he does the same exact incantations and stuff, but most likely it comes from the dark side too, considering if he learned it from him, then yeah, he tapped into darkness just to do that. So he made himself a little partner. This is a brand new person. He has brown shoes. He has a tie on. And well, all of a sudden, there's a bang at the door. The villagers with torches. And apparently, there has been bad luck that hit the town, from sour milk, two-headed goat. I think there's like at least 3 other things. And they're blaming him for it. They're blaming him for his craft. Yeah, claiming his works are of evil. And his dummy has to be taken for a burning because, well, that's the only way how to ward off this spirit, these messed up things, even though it's like, I don't know. Are you sure it's not any pollution or crap near your freaking place? I mean, you're quick to think of superstition and crap, but come on, guys. There's science related to all this, too. So, anyways, Friends was very defenseless. He couldn't do anything. Couldn't talk about her burning a dummy and stuff. So they burned a dummy. He was just so devastated and hurt that they forced him to stop doing his work, stop doing his craft, and he decided yes. And it turns out that Snappy and Slappy was in a room safe, so he still has more dummies, and they all were laughing together. And by some weird what the frick, Snappy actually has full black eyes, as if he is a demonic horror show. And I'm like, what? He has full black eyes? You should never trust anyone with full black eyes. Yeah, not to mention, look at the damn cover. The cover doesn't actually do any justice at all, but I'm pretty sure that, yeah, if they would have actually gave him the real eye color, many kids would be freaked out. Many kids would maybe be freaked out by that. So now it says we're now at present day. So we got Luke, he's 10 years old, he has red hair, he's looking for a power tool, but doesn't know anything about tools. We have his sister that's 10 years old. Her name is Kelly. She actually is kind of Captain Hindsight, being like, oh, you should have done that, or you should have done that better. So yeah, she's like that. And we got Jamal, his friend, who is a mechanical genius. So right now they're actually building a drone, and apparently it's propane powered. What? Let's see. Oh yeah, and also side note, Kelly's blonde and Jamal plays the cello, and he has black hair. And then we get to Dad. Dad is David Harrison. David, he has black hair, peppered beard, so he's kind of getting gray there, pale blue eyes. Apparently he's divorced, and you can see how his daughter's acting. You can see exactly why they're divorced. It's the mom's fault. It's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the freaking mom's fault. If the daughter is acting a spitting image of her mom, pretty sure it's her mom's fault. The mom remarried and they go there every other weekend. So the dad actually has horror house films, and he made many movies, and he actually is a horror buff. He has the original shoes of Frankenstein, the teeth of Jaws, and so many things. And his house is kind of the horror museum. So the horror museum that we heard in the synopsis, it turns out the horror museum was none other than just their attic. So if it was reworked or something, we don't really know for sure. And Luke actually had nightmares at a point because of the stuff upstairs. It's like the monsters come alive and stuff like that. So, anyways, yeah, they're building the drone. The propane tank almost actually exploded on them, but Luke was able to stop it after he actually stumbled and almost caused an accident. The dad actually brought home Snappy and Slappy, but oh, it turns out that they actually introduced themselves to the kids. They actually snuck out of the car and introduced themselves to the kids. Just went right into the freaking garage walking. And it's like, what the frick? The dad actually comes in and Dummy's actually went limp and he's like, why did you guys get it out of the door? Why in the world did you get him out the car? And it's like, what the hell? It's like, really sure, if you have valuable stuff in your house, why don't you have security cameras? It should technically be like the second part of the haunted mansion. No, haunted house. I forgot what it was called. The one with the Wayans brothers. Marlon was in it. He should have security cameras just in case anyone tries to break in and steal some crap. Because I'm pretty sure upstairs in the attic he has freaking priceless goods. Pretty sure, and they know where the hell he is, and they know he's a movie producer. Pretty damn sure he should have some security up in this. And it's like, yeah, this is where it's like, yep, burst that bubble right quick of the fact of he should have been already knew that they actually walk. And yeah, they shouldn't actually had the balls to even walk into the garage. They should have been like, did. Oh my gosh, there's a camera. Go limp. Technically, there should have been a freaking camera right outside the freaking garage too. So it's like they technically shouldn't have not done anything. They should have looked at the freaking camera and didn't do anything. But well, he has no cameras for some stupid reason. Yep, you can steal crap from them, boys. So Jamal actually checks the dummy, see if there's robotic stuff in it, which it wasn't. If there was, then Horrorland would have been a nod of being like, yep, those two are compatible. The dad doesn't believe them that it actually happened. He think they're actually spinning a screenplay idea. And well, luckily for them, they actually landed parts of being extras in a movie that he's shooting. I married a dummy. Yeah, so Snappy and Slappy actually were going to be a part of a movie. So they have to, it's time to carry the dummies up to the attic. Sadly, Luke actually had to carry Slappy, and Slappy decided to actually squeeze his wrist. And well, he plays dead after his dad actually looks to see what the heck is going on. And note there was some horror name drops, which hopefully I actually have them listed there. The dad actually thinks Lucas wants out of the movie. Somehow Kelly and Jamal actually didn't notice. They actually were walking behind him, and for some reason they did not notice his wrist is getting squeezed by Slappy. I don't know. In the attic, Jamal doesn't like it. There's so much freaking horror stuff. He loves sci-fi better. And they're only there for the movie. After the movie is set and done and filmed, they both are going to get split up. One's going to go to Pasadena, and the other one's going to Beijing, China. And Kelly and Jamal actually noticed that they are like brothers, but of course the dad is like, they don't have no souls. They're just dummies. Of course, there's nothing there. So they locked them in the glass cases with a key, and the drone actually apparently is going to take a week to build. So the dad actually had a call. He walked downstairs. Jamal actually likes the dad, but he thinks the dad is weird. The dummies actually start tapping on the glass. One of them does, and then both of them are tapping in the glass. And Luke said, I have a plan. We're going to let them out, and I'm going to record them. And apparently, no, Luke doesn't actually take his freaking camera and record him. Instead, no, Kelly has to take out her phone and record him. Luke, you had the plan. You're gonna have to get your freaking phone destroyed. It's like, Luke, you're the one who had the plan. Kelly actually said we should get Dad and tell him that. And Jamal is like, we got to get the fuck out of here. And at page 40, we have Slappy's input on the matter. Yeah, he does it like at least 3 times. This is part of Slappy World's gimmick. Me personally, I would have been like, hey, stop tapping on the glass. And I just turn on the freaking camera and say, stop tapping on the glass. I'm filming you right now. Yeah, that's right. Go back to being limp. Because if you don't, I have footage of you freaking moving. Yeah, so stop that crap. Or I'm gonna keep on filming. You feel me? It's like that's freaking easy. It's like it's easy. It's easy. That's what you should have done. It's just freaking just threaten them, being like, hey, I got a camera right here. It's like I started doing it. As soon as you started tapping on the glass. So good idea to stop. Good idea to stop. Yeah, that's what I would have done. That's a freaking easy fix. So, anyways, Luke opened it. Snappy and Slappy actually talk. Snappy actually is holding back Slappy because, well, apparently he's in quotations the good guy, trying to actually be like, "Hey, you shouldn't be rough on those guys. That's not how to make friends." So, anyways, they got out of the glass case and Kelly started filming them. Snappy plays shy and non-violent, while Slappy actually is going to bust the dad's head wide open. That's right, because he threatens their separation, and he's like, "Oh well, I'm gonna freaking kick your dad's ass. I'm gonna bust his freaking head open. Yep, and let all the blood come out." Kelly actually got enough and tries to go to her dad, but Slappy actually somehow got freaking jumps and is able to jump right in front of her, grab her phone, and crush it. Which personally to me, I would have been like, "Hey, it's like, okay, you should have whispered like, okay, I think I got enough. Okay, well, upload it to YouTube right quick." It's like upload to YouTube right quick. So that's all you gotta do is if you have a video that you want, if someone's like, oh my gosh, delete it, as long as it's not explicit and no naked stuff and crap like that, upload it to YouTube first before you make a move and try to show anyone. So just in case the dude's gonna be a jerkbag and try to destroy your phone or something, it's on YouTube. You can't delete it off YouTube, especially if you destroy the damn phone. So yeah, take that. It's like, yeah, that's food for thought. So, anyways, yeah, Slappy destroys the phone. Slappy actually hits Snappy like 2 times, and then there was a brother fight, and then a China statue while the squabbling happened. A China statue of Night Pain, aka Edgar Allan Poe, actually shattered. The dad just comes upstairs and he eventually knows the sculpture in the pieces, and it's like, oh, what the and Luke tells him about the mistake, the fact that the dummies, he unlocked the case in the dummies, and well, the dummies are back in the case somehow. I guess I don't really know. I thought they were like on a pedestal or something. So apparently it might actually be on the floor, which I thought was like on a pedestal or something. Well, anyways, he believes again is a screenplay, and he thinks that his son actually is able to make a story on the spot like that. It's like, if he's able to do that, when you've been had that ability and when you've been have known that actually is an ability of his, I'm just saying, that's kind of weird that you don't know your kid actually can do that. That's kind of weird. It's like, yeah, gee whiz, man, you have the kids, so you should basically know what your kids are capable of. It's like, what the frick? So the phone actually is crushed. The dad actually put his foot down, being like, okay, that's it. One more time of this crap. You're all going to be out of the extras. And it's like, okay, we'll get to that moment of where it's like, hey, dude, that's not unfair. That's unfair for one of them. So the key, believe it or not, is in Slappy's pocket, and he tried to tell his dad, but his dad's not listening. Slappy actually winks and waves goodbye, and Luke actually tries to figure out their plan of what he's going to do to his dad, or at least something, which is, he already admitted he's going to try to break his dad's skull in. So, and then we have the dream, a nightmare. But anyways, yeah, he tried to convince their dad, but he got silenced. That was at dinner, and then Luke actually had a hard time sleeping. Eventually, he went to sleep and he got a nightmare. He saw four dummies, four eyes, snappy, slappy, snappy, slappy. Which at first I thought was like, oh, it's a premonition. So you actually are counting all the dummies we have so far. We got Mr. Wood, we got Slappy, we got Snappy, and we got Wally. But of course, two of them are the same person, so technically it's three. But considering they're different versions of them, it's kind of like FNAF in a way. It's like, yeah, it's like just because you have two of the same person doesn't mean they don't count. Okay, let's see, where was I? Someone is up. Yeah, so someone actually is up, and he woke up, someone's up, and Luke actually goes straight to stop it, and it turns out that it wasn't Slappy or anyone Snappy. It was just Kelly, and they talk, and it's like Kelly's okay with she's okay with Snappy, and well, now they're gonna try attempt two with a GoPro. Yeah, and he does the rookie move of not even turning on the GoPro. You freaking moron. But anyways, they sneak in and they got ambushed, and Slappy is the only one active while Snappy actually is against the wall. Slappy actually is filming them, in quotations, filming them. And then he gives it back to Kelly to film him. And then Slappy actually is manhandling Luke. And he's planning to put him in the glass case because he decided to title this movie The Boy in the Glass Case. Do you like it? The horror film. So Snappy actually reluctantly helped him, and Slappy locked the freaking thing, and he threw the key to the glass case somewhere. Yeah. And then we have some brother issues, and then it turns out here's the real plan. He's gonna frighten their dad, then they're going to ruin the movie, then they're gonna ruin his life. And Kelly actually tried to take down Slappy, but well, on page 65, Slappy ducked, he headbutts her. He tried to kick her and missed, and he kicked her in the shoulder. Yeah, but then eventually she was able to take down Slappy like a little bit, like it just a knockdown, and then ran and got her dad. And he still doesn't believe them. Finally, the key was found after a little while, and Luke didn't press record, like I said. So apparently now there's no more cameos, including Jamal, which Jamal wasn't there, so how the frick does he get screwed over in this? But yeah, Jamal's not a part of it anymore. And the two dummies actually went outside and did a victory dance in front of the house. Which is like, yeah, well, if you have cameras, you would have that. And if the next door neighbors were competent, they would actually have footage of that too. uh, So it's too bad he tries to call his dad and they were gone. The next morning, Lucy, it turns out they have a housekeeper named Lucy who actually lives there, but lives in the back house of it. There's a breakfast meeting with Simon Bennett. He's the executive producer for four movies, and he's most likely going to be executive producer for this one. And the dummies actually were outside, and they actually got the kids over, and he says, okay, I will leave if you do the following. Here's an earbud. You have to say everything I say, and if you do, we're gone. And you have to do it alone. Yeah, Kelly, you stay here. It's like, what the frick? So it turns out that, of course, Slappy does what he does best, insults. And that got Simon mad and angry, and he left. And of course, when he gave the earbud to his dad, there was silence. So he grounded them both. And it turns out when he tried to actually do something, because the dummies were downstairs, they're actually still up in the attic locked. So what he's going to do is now retrieve the dummies and put them in a van and actually take them, excuse me, and take them to the studio. For a little bit, you actually have Luke saying, hey, you promise, you promise. And Slappy's like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm such a liar, aren't I? And it's like, what the frick? And then at page 85, we have some more interruptions. Yeah, we got another interruption from Slappy, and more movie drops in 94. Anyways, the drone project is now back in session. They're upset about no cameo. Jamal is upset that he thinks that they're lying. And And then, oh shoot, it turns out that the dummies took the tank. Yeah, so instead of calling and try to text them, why in the world won't you just ask, hey, do you know where the tank went? It's like either that or the dad should have already mentioned that, oh yeah, I moved the tank somewhere, but he didn't. So looks like the dummies are actually able to take the tank and move while in the van and figuring how to save the people in the studio. Yeah, and apparently dad doesn't take texts or calls because most likely he's filming. So they called a taxi in a taxi app, aka Uber or Lyft. But they didn't want to friggin' name drop because I think they might get sued or something. It's supposed to come there in 7 minutes, but it came at 10 minutes. So 3 minutes late. What the hell? Then 30 minutes later, they made it to the studio at the security booth. Sadly, their names were on a list, so they got a refusal to go in because it's a new security guard, while the previous security guards know who they are. But this new security guard is like, oh no, I can't do that. I'm going to lose my job over this. So I decided to pull a fast one because there's a roundabout. So in the middle of the roundabout, they ducked out and went into the studio. So they made in the studio. They're trying to find Ms. Dovine, who is the head security. She wasn't in her office. The dad was in the office, so they're still searching. The security guard that was on the front gate, along with his friend, his partner, is now they found them and they're like, "Hey, stop right there!" So they actually had to sneak into a trailer, and it turns out it's the trailer with the dummies in it. So freaking Luke decided to go like Batman and investigate interrogation on freaking Slappy, which he doesn't do anything. And they try to get Snappy to also cooperate. He didn't say anything. And then all of a sudden, Derek, the puppeteer, comes in. And well, he's not taking them seriously either. They name drop Chucky, son of a biggie. Then Slappy actually finally does something as they walk out, and Slappy turned his head and say, it's like, oh, what the frick? So now they're still searching, and they finally found the filming set. They found Miss Doreen. They try to get the explosion resolved, but she's like, no, I can't let you in. They're filming right now. And then she gets a call. They sneak inside, but sadly, they set off the alarm. But they found the right one. They got to explain, and still, he says is a nice screenplay. So he still doesn't believe them. The dad actually revealed that I took the propane tank and I moved it to the back of the garage. And it's like, you didn't tell them why, you know? I'm just saying, you didn't tell them why. Hmm? Hmm? So, anyways, they're now in big trouble and they were driven home. And it turns out that Slappy and Snappy actually hitched a ride in the back of the trunk. And, well, Derek is so fired, man. Derek is freaking fired. At this point right here, Derek is freaking fired. So anyway, Snappy actually asked Slappy, why do you have to be like this? Why you have to be so mean and stuff? And then, well, Slappy actually is like, oh, well, you know what I get rid of my anger with? And he jumps on Luke, and now he's hitting Luke in the back of the neck, and he's headbutting, and he slapped him, and he shoved him to the ground, and now he's punching him. And now the brother argue, and then Slappy actually punched and kicked Snappy, and then now it's a wrestling moment again. Brotherly fight, and then Snappy actually decides to run away. Slappy chasing them. The three, of course, follow them, and they actually made it to the back of the freaking garage, of course. And well, before more fighting, we reveal that there's a tank, some more fighting, and then Slappy actually threw Snappy at the propane tank like an idiot. I thought you said you weren't a dummy, bastard. And well, boom! The garage was wrecked. The dummies went in the air. Slappy actually went far away, while Snappy actually landed on the lawn. How convenient. The dad actually is home. Oh, good lord. And he's gonna call 911. And the dad actually said that, yeah, I followed you home. I know that they're actually alive. I saw it from my own eyes, and I was too shocked to even break up the fight. So he's gonna destroy the closest one. He says, screw the money. Believing in my children is more important than the money. And it's like, you know what you could do? Make sure the one that did go far away, you find him and then grab him, you know? It's like, yeah, because Slappy doesn't know that you know that he's alive. Just saying. So yeah, I would make sure that everyone is safe. I mean, seriously, everyone is freaking safe from these two. So he's going to destroy the closest one, screw the money, but they said, no, no, no. There was a good one. It's like, yeah, we can't destroy it if he's snappy. If it's a snappy, we can't burn him. So they take Snappy and they're gonna bring Snappy back up to the case, and then that's what Snappy said. Hey, Slappy actually thought it was funny if I pretend to be nice. But since he's gone now, slaves, now we're going to make a brand new movie, Tin Hut. It's like, what? And that's why I'm like, yeah, pretty sure you guys should have not have believed him. And Slappy's evil twin is like, well, name it Slappy's evil twin. I don't really know. Yeah, I mean, I seriously don't know. You should name it that because Slappy did all the freaking abuse and crap while Snappy didn't do anything. Which, yeah, is kind of evil being nice, but not too evil. But hey, at the end of the day, we actually got the person who made Snappy Slappy and Mr. Wood. We know how they actually got cussed and enchanted. And we might actually know where Mary Ellen came from. We might know. We might. As for this book, apparently this book is for fourth to sixth graders, which is like, oh dang it. Well, they're gonna so screw me over with this one. I'm like, nah, not really. Kids won't really be interested in a freaking book review that's over like I think it's over. This is over like 10 minutes and 20 minutes and stuff. Kids don't have their attention to watch this. Only real Goosebumps fans have the attention to watch this. And if, of course, if you're a kid, make sure you go to your mom and ask if it's okay and watch it on her account instead of watching it on your account. I'm just saying. Yeah, and allow them to watch it with you. Yes, it's always good to grow together and grow apart. I know it is a messed up do, but it's like, yeah, but sadly these days it kind of has to be mentioned considering they're now trying to drag kids and adults away from each other, which is good, but it's also bad. Really, it's good, but it's also bad. I mean, geez. As for the rating, buy it, don't buy it. I will say that this one is very much needed, even though we don't know which universe it actually belongs, or if there's one big universe, or there's three universes, or two universes. But I will say that the little bit that we got from this can be put on all universes of where's the origins of people. So it's like, that's good. The only messed up part is like this one contradicts the part of where they were made from a cursed coffin wood. And it's like, he might have done that. He might have, but I kind of doubt it. But I will say, if he was made it from a cursed coffin wood, then that does make sense why they were like, oh my gosh, you cursed us. But it would have been cool if they would have said, instead of saying, oh, you cursed us because you created this thing, it would be good to be like, oh, you cursed us because you used a source that you shouldn't have used. You used coffins. You actually dug up people's coffins and used it. It's like, yeah. And plus, it's something about it's supposed to be Egyptian too. So it's like, I don't know, man. It's getting harder and harder to keep everything all contained when it comes to the Goosebumps, especially Slappy's origin. But at least I can say for Mr. Wood, however, we know his origin. At least we know that. As for Snappy and Slappy, it gets even worse where it's like those two seem like they actually should be together, but in a way, instead of the whole now thing and the whole cell phone everything and GoPro and stuff like that, I will say that it is kind of easy to forget all that and be like, yeah, this one actually happened way before all the books. Yeah, this might have actually happened. Like, for instance, this is like a messed up sandwich, just like Dragon Ball Z and another show, where it's like, okay, so this one goes before First Night of Living Dummy, but it also is actually, I think it just goes before the Night of a Living Dummy, technically. So it's like, yeah, this is the very first book. Technically, this should be the very first book. Because you have Snappy and Slappy, and Mr. Wood is involved. And we can actually see that. Trying to remember again who was bought. I think Slappy was actually found in the trash, right? So in a way, this could actually be roped in to be like, oh, so that's how Slappy made it into the trash. There we go. There we go. But yeah, I would personally say it's good. You can buy it. It's worth it. You gotta support them because if you don't support them, Goosebumps can go away forever, just like the movies. Even though the movie second movie was not that good, so we can understand why they're not gonna make a third one, or they're too slow to make a third one because they're like, we're weighing our options. But anyways, have a scary day, have a scary night, and there you go. I gave you a review. We'll see if I'll do the next review, which might actually take a few weeks. I'm not sure.